Allah Akbar.
The only convincing that's going to come is if he looks at me and says, boy, something happened with him.
One of the most interesting aspects of the Muslim community in the US is how they blend in or integrate into mainstream USA.
When we look at the Muslims of South Asia or the Middle East, and then we look at the Muslims in America, there, again, critics have been saying there's a vast difference. What can we attribute that difference to?
This is America. This is America. I mean, in America, you know, when I go home, when my family has a dinner, two of my brothers are Catholic. One of my sisters is a Protestant. Another one is Jewish, converted to Judaism. We're Muslim. We sit down at the same table and we eat, and we talk, we communicate, we interact. I stay with them, they stay with us. Everyone has that kind of cohesive kind of mixture here, and it's not just in my family. It's part of this culture that we're used to rubbing elbows with one another. We're used to dialoguing, we're used to discussing, and we're not frightened to sit down and talk to someone. And when I talk, I have a very close friend of mine who's a priest. And when we discuss issues, I don't try to convince him that he's got to leave his religion. The only convincing that's going to come is if he looks at me and says, boy, something happened with him. Something's going on with his life. And I better investigate it a little bit more carefully. It's never going to be words. It's never going to be words. It's always going to be the actions that people do, that people have. And those actions have to spring from a state. You can't fake it. Either you're in that state or you're not. Either you're going to act in ways that's going to attract attention and is going to draw people to Islam because you become something different. And becoming something different means that you're changed. And when you're changed, that change is going to attract people just like honey. Because that change better be a change into an open-hearted, loving, kind of respectful and inviting place. That's what Islam is. Islam has to be an invitation. Islam is an invitation to all of humanity. And absent that invitation, if Islam is presented in the world as an angry religion, a divisive religion, a religion that separates, a religion that's intolerant, all of those things will scare people.
We have Christians in this country, we have Jews in this country, we have Muslims in this country, and there's so much diversity in America, and yet we see Muslims thriving and coexisting with all these cultures and religions. Why do you think that is happening?
Well, Islam is the fastest growing religion in America, even today with all of the troubles in the world. And I think it's because really all of the religions are the same origin. There's one God, the prophets all came in an order, they all brought the same message. And here there's a little more openness for people to realize that the message is the same. Even though the Jews are focused on Moses and have their own traditions and the Christians are focused on Jesus, the core truth is the same behind it. And you can feel the resonance of that truth through Islam and with other people. And people step back here and they sort of feel that resonance of oneness.
And what about the attire? I mean, you're a Muslim and you're dressed up in a shirt and a jacket. You don't have a long beard. You're a pretty cool looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, that's very kind of you. A 60-year-old guy looking cool is very...
Well, you're most welcome.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that when we see CNN and Fox and other networks, we see a different image of Islam. And when I come to places like these, in America, I see Muslims like yourself. and I see a vast difference from where I come from. I'm from Pakistan, so I'm used to looking at different kinds of
cultures. I mean, cultures. I mean, you know, in Holland they used to wear wooden shoes. The important thing is modesty has very little to do with, you know, whether a person is wearing a Middle Eastern garb or if they're wearing a three-piece suit or whatever. Modesty has to do with how it is that you feel before Allah, how it is that you have the awareness that Allah is watching you, that Allah is always present in your life, and that there is never a moment that you are alone, and there's never a thing that you do that's hidden from Allah. So you have to guard yourself and your modesty and your conduct and your words and your thoughts and your behavior, because you want to do everything that's pleasing to Allah, and the only thing that's pleasing to Allah is the Asma Husna. And whenever we have qualities within us that are at odds with the Asma Husna, we're at fault.
Would it be okay to say that in America we see rock and roll Muslims, or?
Well, that's probably not the best description.
Okay, let's say progressive
Muslim. You know, I'm dressed modestly and cleanly, and
okay.
I'm clean.
Would you call me a rock and roll Muslim?
You're probably closer to your dress than I am.
But that would not change me as a Muslim. I would still believe in God, and I still respect all religions, right?
It's all about your qualities, your behavior, and whether you actually live consistently with Islam or just call yourself a Muslim on the surface and don't act that way. It's all in the kind of the follow-through. And it's not so much in what you look like or how you dress. A lot of the image of Muslims in America with the Kufis and the whole Middle Eastern and Far Eastern thing just is the way they dressed in their cultures before they moved here. So that's just a cultural thing. Here, you know, this is my culture, I guess. But it's clean and it's modest, and the key is the qualities, the compassion, the Asmaul Husna, the 99 qualities of God, and whether you can put that into practice with every breath of the day. That's what counts.
So it's like, I mean, you'll be walking down a train station and no one would know that you're a Muslim.
Correct.
Would it be a problem if somebody knows that you're a Muslim?
No, I actually, you know, my Arabic name is Abdul Jabbar. That's actually on my passport with my other name. The people I work with all know I'm a Muslim. So we don't hide it. It's who we are, you know, it's the way we live. And it's important, I think, to really feel comfortable with your relationship with God. And if you're comfortable with the relationship with God, what else counts?
Allah Akbar. American people are good people. American people are really very inviting.